This happened to me recently while still in quarantine. Being stuck at home is scary and lonely, but I would trade a lifetime of quarantine over what just happened to me. I wrote this while it was happening, so the following is in sort of a journal format. Ever since I started my journal, I act as if I'm writing to someone. October 17th, 2020. Dear reader, I am frightened very easily, so what I have experienced is probably a figment of my imagination. Nevertheless, I feel the need to write it down. I was showing obvious signs of cabin fever due to quarantine. Attempting to cope, I stayed up fairly late watching YouTube, scrolling through Reddit, just anything to keep me from dying of boredom. Everyone in my family has gone to bed. Yawning, I look at my computer's clock and was faced with 1:01 a.m. This is just another way of saying, go to sleep. I reluctantly made my way to my room when I heard a swish and my door closed. Jumping up, I thought for a moment. I would normally be completely spooked for the rest of the night, but my window is always open, so I figured it was a particularly strong gust of wind. Just in case, I started walking in with 911 dialed on my phone. Something flashed in the dark, then disappeared just as fast, but I managed to switch camera mode and sneak a quick shot. What I saw gives me chills. A glance at my phone confirmed, not a flashlight or a gleaming object in my room, but a pair of glowing eyes about 3.5 feet off the ground. It's slightly blurred as if it were rushing to where my window is. I scoured over my entire room and then the rest of my house looking for my cat, who I thought was the obvious culprit. I looked in vain, for my cat was snuggled close with my brother in his room. His door was closed, and as I thought about it more, it still couldn't have been my cat. The eyes were positioned in a place he couldn't have been. He didn't have anything to stand on, and jumping couldn't have made the effect that was portrayed in the ominous picture. Heart still pumping, I decided to get onto a large group chat with some of my friends. 3 of them were online when I recounted the odd experience. They assured me it's nothing and they told me I'd be fine. It's all over now. I'm going to sleep now as a storm is brewing outside. I sleep the best in the rain and the lightning. October 18th, 2020. Dear reader, someone is playing a prank on me. I logged back into the chat I mentioned earlier, and instead of the normal 20 friends added, I saw only 17. I asked others online what happened to the 3 amigos, but they didn't recognize the names at all. I started scrolling through past messages to prove they were there, and everything they had ever said was gone, as well as my account from the night before. I started to panic. Guys, this isn't funny! I talked to them last night. Joy, Chen is your boyfriend! You're going crazy. I'm not! You guys are mean! I demand you stop this instant. They've even deleted their accounts to make it look like they don't exist. Please! You have been removed from the chat. Some friends. They were starting to act distant anyway. I don't understand Maya's role in this. Maya was my best friend. She was one of the people who disappeared. She'd never play a prank like this, not in her whole life. She's so sweet and kind. I miss her warm green eyes and brown curls. I wish this whole quarantine thing would just disappear, like they did, so I could hug her again. We would talk about how John and Chen are being... but they're gone. They all are. Is this just a prank? It has to be. October 19th, 2020. Dear reader, I didn't write yesterday. You'll understand why in a moment. I was complaining to my father about the prank my friends were playing on me. I was heated, but he did his calming smile. His eyes were always so kind. It melted my heart and my worries about this whole fiasco. I miss him so much. October 20th, 2020. Dear reader, the only correlation to these events I can find is that anyone I tell about that chilling story from several nights ago disappears without a trace, and I'm the only one who remembers them. I've been careful not to tell anyone else of their disappearances either, because the friends I told about Maya and others missing are gone too. I fear my mother and brother are next. October 21st, 2020. Dear reader, I had a panic attack. My family is gone and I don't know what to do. It seems to others like it's normal for me to live in a house by myself. I've stopped doing online school so I can devote myself to whatever is happening here. Although, because I live on my own, I've felt more comfortable going out and doing things. I've started on my parents' emergency cash, but it isn't going to last long. I need to find a job. October 22nd, 2020. Dear reader, I think I found someone. I went onto a Reddit forum, one of those unbelievable ones that often hype up conspiracy theories, and asked if anyone knew about the disappearances due to telling a story. I got some typical crazy answers, but one post stood out as I was scrolling through the top feed. The poster, going under the pseudonym Clarissa23, had posted about something similar to what I'd experienced. The thread had 0 upvotes, 0 comments, but hundreds of views. She wrote on the thread about how she'd had people disappearing from her life, and asked others if they had similar things happen. Clarissa23, a few weeks ago I saw something in my room. It was too fast to judge what it was, but it looked like a creature running across my room. Simi Miami. I saw a pair of glowing eyes rushing in my room. I caught a photo. Take a look. Simi Miami uploaded a photo. Clarissa23. Meet me tomorrow at Partridge Park at 6 p.m. October 23rd, 2020. Dear reader, I don't know how to describe any of this, but I'll do the best I can. I sat in the park for hours, and I don't know why I didn't leave earlier, but it was 1:01 a.m., the same time I encountered the treacherous thing that had done this to me. Maybe it was because it was cold and I didn't want to move, or maybe it was because I was freaked out because I hadn't seen a sign of life since around 7 p.m. Surely there would still be cars on this busy road. It seemed like everyone had disappeared. I think the chill outside slowed down the realization that no one was coming. As it sunk in, lightning struck, quite literally. I couldn't see much, and could only hear the high-pitched scream, as it were from an unholy thing. What my damaged eyes could make out was the figure of a girl. No, not a girl, a disfigured thing in the rain. It cocked its head slightly at me and dashed toward me. What I saw in the commotion has since sent me to countless psychological evaluations. A pair of glowing eyes. October 17th through November 12th, 2020. Dear reader, you may be confused at my last entry or the date on this one. As soon as the creature gained on me, I did, in a sense, wake up. I sat up in my bed and heard my parents chattering from the kitchen. My heart was still pounding from the experience. The memory did not fade away like any normal dream, as it petrified me in place for nearly an hour. I cannot explain what happened to me even now. I have been sent from therapist to therapist searching for an answer. I have been diagnosed with schizophrenia to mania disorder, but none of these descriptions really fit. Many have called it just a dream, and I wish I could say the same, but there is one piece of incriminating evidence I cannot ignore. I still have the journal.